every cell of your being just knows it's inevitable. And it's not something that you have to convince yourself of or that you have to tell yourself over and over again. Hello, my loves. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Lorena. I'm a self-concept coach, and I am here to support women in shifting their self-concept, stepping into a new embodiment, a new identity that aligns with their desires so that you can manifest anything that you truly want in your life sustainably, holistically, without having to bypass or ignore anything. Please make sure to like this video, if you like it, that is. If you want to see more of it, make sure to subscribe because I upload videos every week, at least once, sometimes twice. And also be sure to check out the links in the description box below. There's a lot of free resources for you to get you started on your conscious manifestation journey, to teach you how to change your self-concept, what you need to do to manifest successfully. So today we're gonna do some more debunking because I'm in the mood for it. Specifically, we're gonna talk about faking it till you make it, being delusional, acting as if, a lot of popular concepts in the manifestation community. I think the whole being delusional thing probably came about from TikTok. I don't know, but that's more the recent years. Acting as if, faking it till you make it. That's quite old. That's been said for a really long time. And I am not a fan of any of these things because it keeps people absolutely stuck. It keeps people in a state of misalignment. And I want to take it apart today in this video. So let's do a little 1 to 2 sentence manifestation 101 in order to consciously manifest something specific that you desire into your life. You need to align with the version of you that already has it. In other words, you need to internally live in the reality as if it was already done, even when it's physically not manifested yet. And you being in that state and in that consciousness and in that internal reality is what is going to bring it in, is what is going to make it manifest for you. That is as simple as it is. Now, unfortunately, and I don't think this is anybody's fault. I think this is just many voices saying many things, and the internet being so global, and there's just such an overload of information out there. I get so many messages from people who come to me and say, I am confused. This person says this, and this person says this, and I don't know what to believe. Totally understand it. I don't think it's anybody's fault. I think people just have different perspectives, but then also different experiences. Some people, unfortunately, don't have any embodied experience. They just see a concept that they like and create content on it, which I also don't think is intended with any harm. I think they truly believe it, but if you've not lived it, it's a different thing, right? But anyways, point being, a lot of the concepts around manifestation are misunderstood or misinterpreted or miscommunicated. So they might be explained in a way that the people who receive it misunderstand it. And the idea of living in the end, the idea of acting as if, faking it till you make it, it's one of them. It's one of the ideas that are misconstrued or misused. So let's first talk about living in the end. I do have a separate video on this. It's pretty old though. Well, it's like a couple of years old, and I have changed so much in these couple of years that I don't actually remember how much resonance there is in that anymore. But living in the end, just like that manifestation 101 that I gave you, is really about truly living in that internal reality of it already being here. It's not telling yourself that it's already here. It's not pretending that it's already here. It's not waiting for it to come. It's truly feeling on a very deep level that it is done. Not mentally, but in an embodied way, where every cell of your being just knows it's inevitable. And it's not something that you have to convince yourself of or that you have to tell yourself over and over again. And it's not conscious, it's subconscious, it's integrated, it's embodied, it's who you are. You are this new version of yourself, and it doesn't matter what your circumstances around you are, because your internal reality is so solid in that end result that you desire to create. That is what it means to live in the end of your manifestation, of your desired reality. Now, whilst that all sounds wonderful, it's actually not that easy to do, because if your external circumstances show you something completely different than what you desire to experience, you're going to resist that. Your subconscious is not going to accept it. Your subconscious is not going to believe you. You feel like you have to convince yourself of something that doesn't actually feel true to you, that doesn't appear to be true, because externally it looks different. So despite the idea being so simple, and despite people making it appear to be so easy and simple, it's absolutely not. Manifestation as a whole is not easy. It's hard. If it's something that you actually care about, and it's something that maybe you have some trauma around or resistance around, or that you've not experienced in the past, or that you've not seen the possibilities or the examples for, then it's really, really hard because you have an emotional charge attached to it. But that's what it means to live in the end. Living in the end is not the same thing as acting as if. It is also not the same thing as faking it till you make it. And it's also definitely not the same thing as being delusional. And here's the difference. Faking it, as it says in the name, you're faking it. You're not embodied in that reality. You don't actually feel it to be real. You're trying it on, which, by the way, there is nothing wrong with kind of playing with alter egos and trying things on and practicing it. Nothing wrong with that. But the moment you're faking it, you're actually further removed from that reality that you want to step into than ever before, because now you're subconsciously telling yourself, I'm not there, and I'm just pretending that I'm there. That's a huge barrier. Acting as if, it's the same thing. Acting as if means you're faking it. It means you're not truly it. You're not truly there. You're acting as if you're there. It says it in the name, acting, and it says it as if. The issue with that is, if you're faking it, if you're pretending, if you're acting as if, you are still subconsciously in the old version of yourself. You are looking at that reality that you desire to experience, that version of you that you desire to be, from your current self-concept, from your current state of being, your current state of consciousness. You're not actually in the new. Neville Goddard speaks about the difference between thinking of it and thinking from it, and that's essentially what that is. If you're acting as if you're faking it, you're thinking of it. You're not there. The thing with acting as if and faking it and being delusional is not only are you not there because you're pretending, but you're kidding yourself, which makes it actually worse, in my opinion, than stating, this is what I want and I'm not there yet. Because at least that's authentic to you. That doesn't create an internal conflict in you. But if you're pretending, you're being delusional, I honestly hate this term, or you're acting as if, or you're faking it, all the same thing anyway. If that's what you're doing, you create an internal conflict, because there's not just the part of you that's like, I'm going to pretend I'm there. There's also the part of you that's like, but we're not there. What the are you doing? Conflict. And I want to speak to my favorite, being delusional, just on its own real quick. I think that's a lot of clickbait. I also think this one is particularly tricky because you're not, at least with faking it till you make it and acting as if you're kind of being honest about what you're doing. Whereas with being delusional, you're actually alienating yourself from the world around you. And you're actually ridiculing it a bit. Maybe you see this differently, but to me, that just means you're avoiding what you're truly feeling, truly seeing, and truly believing. And yeah, that feels more enjoyable in the moment, but it will actually keep you stuck. Because if you're constantly living in an imaginal world that hasn't manifested yet, but it's not embodied, it's just something that you're thinking about, visualizing about, dreaming about, you're going to be very disconnected from your life. And I honestly find that not only sad, it's a waste of time. And it's not a surprise that there's a lot of people who found manifestation a few years ago and who have been working on manifesting the same thing for that amount of time and who have made no progress or barely any progress, but who are still telling themselves, I just need to believe more, I just need to visualize more, I just need to be more delusional, I just need to persist in this. And I find that heartbreaking because life is short, man. And we need to cherish it, and we need to really start enjoying the process of manifestation and not lying to ourselves in the process. And that's the thing, right? When I say this, I don't say this to mean it's not possible. I don't say this to mean if you've been trying for a few years or for many months and it's not happened, then it will never happen. That's the opposite of what I'm saying. In fact, it is very much possible for you, and I want this to happen for you, and I'm here to help you make this happen, but you can't lie to yourself or continue to try the same thing that hasn't worked for the last months or years. I'm calling you out on this because I want you to manifest what you desire, and I know that it can happen for you when you stop lying to yourself and when you intentionally manifest. So what it truly means to live in the end and to internally be in that reality, live in that reality, is to have your subconscious be in alignment and in agreement with the reality you're desiring to experience. There's no internal conflict here because your subconscious will know when you're lying to yourself. It's why for a lot of people, most people, definitely me, definitely my clients, affirming through emotions doesn't work. It's a lot of effort, doesn't feel good, because your subconscious recognizes that you're trying to convince yourself of something that you don't actually believe, and it's going to go into resistance, and it's going to feel very unnatural. What it truly means to live in the end is that you actually become a different version of yourself. You begin operating, acting, thinking, feeling from a new self-concept. You're not pretending to be that. You're not visualizing yourself into that. You are not self-talking yourself into it. You are becoming it. You are it. You have become it. You have transformed into it. And you're looking at the world and your reality and your old self-concept from the state of that new self-concept. And that's when it feels natural, and when you don't have to act as if, when you don't have to be delusional, and when you don't have to fake it. It's a complete rebirth, a complete transformation of yourself. Like I always say, you don't want to be dreaming of a different reality, you want to be experiencing it, and that requires you to take action from your future self and not from your current self. For example, I recently decided to invest in a new program because I love to continue learning. I love to receive support. And that was edgy for me because the investment that it was scared me because it was a lot of money for me all at once. And I didn't know if it would pay off, if I would make it back. Because you never know. I can't look into the future, right? Like I don't know for sure. But then I asked myself, would I invest in this if I trusted myself to make that money back? And the answer was yes. If I trust myself to make that money back, I'm going to invest in this program. Of course I'm going to invest in this coaching program because I want it and I trust myself to make the money back. Because my future self, the version of me who is more abundant than I currently am, and I actually do live from quite an abundant consciousness already. There is always room for growth, right? That version of me would not even blink. She would definitely invest in it because she would trust herself to make the money back. She would know that she can make the money back. And that's the way you want to make decisions. Now, that's still going to bring up fear for the previous self-concept, for the previous version of you, but by taking an action that comes from a future version of you, you're actually stepping into that version of you, or at least coming closer to it. That is how you shift a lot faster, by the way. I don't promote quantum leaps. I created a video on that just the other week and why I don't promote that, but that is a quantum leap. That leads to a quick shift, acting from your future self. The other piece that I want to mention that I haven't spoken to yet is just the piece of authenticity, because it just does not feel very good to lie to yourself. As I said, it feels fake, it feels unnatural, and you're gonna be in misalignment with yourself and with your soul, to be honest. It also doesn't feel good to bypass your emotions. If you feel scared and you're trying to push that away, that doesn't feel good. That just amplifies the fear. If you feel angry and you're not expressing that, that also doesn't feel good. Misalignment and not being in integrity with who you really are and what you're truly feeling and thinking and believing does not feel good. But let me tell you, there is a way to accept and integrate all of you, to feel it all, to be it all, and to still get what you want. And not only that, this way it feels aligned. It feels natural. You get there more efficiently, because when you're faking it or being delusional, you probably feel like you're getting there because you're telling yourself it, but the tangible changes are probably not happening, or they become unsustainable. And also, when you do it authentically and through this integrated approach, you feel freaking good about yourself. And you feel good about the process, and you get to enjoy it, and you get to enjoy your life, and there's no conflict. And you're able to manifest what you want and sustain it. That's what it truly means to shift your self-concept. It's a complete transformation, and it's authentic to you. It's authentic to your soul. It comes with integrity, and it's an intentional process. I hope you were able to take something away from this. I would love to know what your future self would be doing that you are currently not doing. And then I want you to go out and do it. Let me know in the comments. I'll see you in next week's video.